Hi there, it's Wise here to bring you guys some wise words as always. I wanted to say, of course, how are you doing? Pretty good? Okay. What, the early morning or something? You haven't had your coffee? I don't drink coffee. Tea maybe? Water with lemon in it? Whatever. I love you. I love you. No matter if you've had that tea or not, or that coffee or not, and you're feeling a little groggy, if you hear it anywhere else today, or don't, I love you. And I know you're starting to love yourself too. I know it. So, guys, as always, I'm excited to bring you this information. Love giving people information. This is a subject that I told you guys I would give to you at a later date. I briefly touched on it in one of my previous videos, but I wanted to go more in depth with it because I feel that it deserves that thorough going over. And even this video isn't a super thorough going over. This is just kind of a broad synopsis of how it's affected my life, what it could do for your life, and why it's beneficial and why I believe it's good information to share with people. So, let's get into it. Yoga. Yoga. Yoga is probably one of the things I preach the most to people. I preach a lot of meditation. I preach a lot of exercise, breathing techniques, studying, research, just making yourself a better person and trying to always raise your vibration, being better than you were yesterday. I believe that should be the goal and the focus of everybody. But when it comes to yoga, I hold a very special place in my heart for yoga. A couple years ago, I injured myself at work, and also I aggravated it often lifting. I quite do quite a bit of lifting if I can, not to get bigger, but mainly to maintain muscle endurance and things like that. That's besides the point. I'm getting off track. I injured myself, and I was like, I need to stop lifting weights for a while. Just gotta, but I didn't want to stop moving around. So what I did was I started reincorporating martial arts, kung fu, and yoga back into my daily workout regimen. And in the beginning, I had done some yoga. I had my first encounter with yoga. I was probably 4, maybe 5 years old. Downward dog, warrior one, a couple things like that. Uh, but it didn't really stick. It wasn't a practice that I kept with me. I played a lot of sports when I was younger: football, basketball, a little bit of soccer here and there. Uh, Tennis was a hobby of mine. I didn't really play it at a level that would be considered even high school in my opinion. But I did do a lot of things that required athleticism, but I never really had the stretching, the interneural integrated fascia release that you get from a practice like yoga. And also, nobody ever really tells you. They tell you about the lifting, but very seldomly, if ever, do they tell you about how to stretch post or prior workout. And I believe that, in and of itself, to have strength is one thing, but without a level of flexibility to complement that strength, I believe that you'll never be able to fully utilize that strength. That's my opinion, and I believe it's a lot of opinion of a lot of other people as well. So I was younger, kind of bumped into it, didn't really stick with it, did other things like I said, football, basketball, all that sort of stuff. Kind of got back into it when I was 18, 19 years old, when I was in college, dated a girl that was into a lot of yoga, instructed some yoga. Kind of got away from it again, picked up P90X as a home workout if you've never done it, and it had the yoga routine in it. So I thought that was good enough for the time being. But not until about 3 years ago when I injured myself did I say, hey, I need to stop lifting for a while and do some other practices. So I picked yoga back up, got some books on yoga, downloaded some yoga DVDs. There's a very, very good yoga regimen if you are interested in getting into some yoga by a man named Travis Elliott. It's called 108 Days of Yoga. If you're interested, you could do it right in your house. You don't have to go to the studio. You could download it, very inexpensive. Or there's even a couple free ones I think he put on YouTube. You could check those out just to see if it's your type of thing. But I was doing that. I was studying. I was picking up these DVDs, and I really got into yoga. Initially, even though I'm a fairly flexible individual, initially it was difficult. And I believe it was difficult because I kept telling myself in my mind, man, this is difficult. And this goes back to inner and mental alchemy of changing whatever thoughts you have about something into something else. But in the beginning, like I was saying, it really was. It was the downward dogs, the bent over rows, the warrior threes, the vinyasas, even the vinyasas, like just stretching open my chest and my shoulders, were really, it was really, really difficult at first, just to say the least. But through time and after a bit of pushing myself in the right direction, I was able to start really getting into it. My body was becoming more flexible. But not only that, I was noticing changes in my psyche. I was a more even keeled person. I was being very, very relaxed and calm around people. It was it was really an awakening for me. And so from that moment on, actually it was a progressive moment, but I really, really started getting into the facets of yoga. I really started studying the inner workings of yoga. And it did wonders for me. It changed me into a different person. It changed me into a better person, in my opinion. If you knew me before, you knew me now, maybe you wouldn't think so. Maybe you would think I was a bit too happy for your liking. That's neither here nor there. But I preach yoga because I believe it works. There's a couple things that yoga has definitely been proven to do. One, it increases your blood flow. Two, it increases or it actually strengthens your posture, makes you have better posture, sit up better. Three, it increases your blood or your breath work. So any type of breathing that you're doing, if you're asthmatic or if you're just like a person that hyperventilates or has anxiety attacks, yoga can really help you out with that because it puts you in a position where you have to focus on your breath and your mental landscape at the same time. Yoga also relieves joint pain and muscle pain, and it increases your mood, like I was saying earlier. It changes you into a better person. It just makes you more even keeled, probably because of the combination of the things that I previously just mentioned. So with that being said, let me just give you a little bit of background about yoga. I'm sure most of you have had a bump in with yoga, somebody who does yoga, seen a yoga studio, probably seen a person in yoga pants heading or coming from yoga class, but maybe you've never really tried it yourself or even thought about looking into it. So there are many facets to yoga. There's actually a branch of Hinduism called yoga, a whole branch. The yoga that most people are familiar with is Hatha yoga or Raja yoga, which is the movement yoga. Yoga at its surface is a physical exercise, but once you get to the core of yoga, it's really a meditative and spiritual exercise as well. I mean, it's also the physical, but it's really about being able to bring the three together, the physical, mental, and spiritual, getting them all to work on the same plane, getting them all to work in conjunction with each other. It's a beautiful thing. Yoga actually in Sanskrit means to unite or to combine or even to bring out and call forth. So actually there's a lot of meanings for the word yoga. It's very, very versatile in the Sanskrit language. Yoga was thought to be invented or start to be cultivated about 350 to maybe 650 BCE. That's before Common Era, or just BC for other people out there who don't use before Common Era. But it's been around for a very, very, very long time. Yoga is one of those things that isn't like a fad. It isn't like Jane Fonda Fitness or Billy Blank's Taibo. Yoga has stood the test of time, and not only that, it has many factions and branches. It also has branches in Buddhist culture. It also has branches in Taoistic culture. Yoga is very, very, very versatile, and like I said, it's been around for a long time. Like I was saying a moment ago, the yoga that most people have been introduced to or has had any type of interaction with is usually Hatha or Raja yoga, which are divinations or delineate from Tantric yoga. Tantric yoga, a lot of people think, oh, Tantra, they get a little put off by it. Tantra yoga, it is basically a cultivation of sexual energy through yoga poses and yoga techniques. Ultimately, that was the first form of moving yoga, was tantric yoga. Originally, yoga was mainly for holding poses, and for cultivating mental and spiritual landscape. But in order to bring it to the Western world, it has to have some sort of logical function, some sort of tangible physical function. Though that's why you see a lot of people, they'll go to like a core power yoga or fitness yoga class, usually one that's a moving or a power yoga class. A lot of people get put off by yoga on a spiritual sense, I believe, because one, either they're already religious, or two, they're not religious at all and don't want to get into it because they feel that they might become a religious or a spiritual person. I cannot say that it won't happen to you. I'm not really the religious type, but I do consider myself to be extremely spiritual. I don't want to say that's because yoga or not because of yoga, but yoga definitely had some influence in that direction. So I won't tell you that you won't become a spiritual person. But what I will tell you is that you will gain an appreciation for yourself. We talk about this here a lot on this channel. Loving yourself, becoming your own best friend, raising your vibration. But once you start doing yoga, yoga puts you in a position where you have to come to an agreement with yourself about whether you can do something right now, whether you mentally want to do it, or if you're just going to go through the motion, if you're just going to try to get into it, but you're not going to bring your mind to the task. And that's ultimately what yoga is. It's about bringing your mind and spirit into what you're doing. A lot of my friends tell me the same thing about yoga. Oh, I'm not flexible. Oh, I don't have that sort of balance. And what I tell people all the time is the exact same thing, that yoga isn't for the flexible or the well-balanced, it's for the willing. If you are willing to do it, if you're willing to bring your mind and your spirit to the current moment of what you're doing there in yoga, and for that matter, anything that you're doing in life, then you will be able to accomplish it. At first, it might seem difficult or like an uphill battle, but eventually, just like anything that you do, whether it's playing the guitar, learning a new type of video game, practicing dance, learning a new language, a new recipe, whatever it is, the more and more you do it over the course of time, you will become better at it. Same thing with yoga. Your body will learn to become more flexible, and ultimately your spirit and your mind will learn to become more flexible. Your body will learn to become more balanced, and ultimately your spirit and your mind will become more balanced. And you'll become a more balanced person overall. Now, if that doesn't interest you, stay away from yoga. If you want to stay, if you feel that you're already a well-balanced person and you don't want to throw any monkey wrenches into your currently well-balanced life, I completely understand that. This video probably isn't for you. But for those of you who are looking to add another layer of flexibility, or just looking for a new fitness routine to get into, I would suggest yoga. I've given you guys some reasons why, but ultimately, check out the research video, because that will tell you to go research it for yourself. Try a yoga class, buy a yoga mat, do a couple poses. You can look a few up just by doing a quick Google or Bing search. But I'm telling you, for a practice that's been around almost 2.5 millenniums, I will tell you that it has stood the test of time, and you should try it for yourself and see if it helps you raise your vibration and become a better person. So guys, I hope this video gave you a little insight about yoga, and maybe even a little insight about the type of person that I am and why I preach things like meditation and yoga. So, as always, I want to wish you infinite love, infinite peace, and infinite wisdom.